everybody, it is paddleboard season again, and today we are checking out a brand new stretch of river. I've got my brand new bucket hat on. We are out on the river Wensum today. Now, this is a river I've been on quite a lot. I've done a video on the Wensum going through Norwich city centre, but today we're more kind of to the west side of the city, going out in the opposite direction. I've never been out here before, so it's all new to me. Let's head out, take a look at what we've got.
As with many great adventures, today began at the pub. This is the Gibraltar Gardens, which is on Higham Street. I'll pop in a shot here from Google Maps in case you need a hand tracking this one down. Now, you can rent paddleboards from here, from Norwich Paddleboard hire, and the beer garden actually looks like a really nice spot to launch from. However, we did decide to cut over to the other side of the river to this little meadow area, and this turned out to also be a fantastic area to launch from. There's this super handy launching ramp over on this side, which makes it really easy to get in and out of the water. And there's also this crazy kayak ramp thing on the other side. At least I think it's made for kayaks. Not totally sure, but maybe we'll try that one another day. As an added bonus, there was also a dog. I can't guarantee she's going to be there every day, but she was super sweet and she let me throw her ball. So a really great start to the day. Once the Crocs were securely locked down, it was time to head out on the water. Now, our first bridge of the day was only a couple of 100 meters up the river. We can actually see it from the spot we launched from. This one is the Mile Cross Road Bridge. There are quite a few bridges to come on our journey today, which I always think makes the paddleboarding experience just a little bit more enjoyable. As I headed on under this one, I did manage to disturb a couple of roosting pigeons. They made me jump a little bit, but I managed to keep my footing and didn't bump my head. One of the main things I noticed about this stretch of river is just how quiet it was. We were out on a Saturday morning in the peak of summer, and we were paddling for a good few hours. We covered almost 4 miles in total, and I think we saw 5, maybe 6 people at the most. So if you just want a really nice, chilled, quiet stretch of river, you could not find a better spot. It didn't take us too long to come across our first piece of wildlife for the day. This heron sat at the side of the river. He seemed pretty cautious of us, so as we got closer, eventually, he did take off, heading upstream. As usual with herons though, he didn't travel very far. We headed on upriver, and after only a few minutes or so, we did come across him again. He'd found himself a new spot to sit on the top of this tree stump, and he seemed much happier far away from us. We then came across our first footbridge of the day. This one has this weird kind of water treatment thing next to it. I'm not totally sure what it is. And the bridge itself here was really low. Considering that we hadn't had any rain for quite a few weeks and the water level was fairly low as it is, I don't know what this would be like with high water because you really do have to duck to get underneath it. This bridge is not the only thing you have to duck under. I did notice there were quite a few low-hanging trees and branches. Most of them could probably be avoided, but I like to paddle straight at them and then have to dodge out the way. And this was no exception with our next bridge. Now this one I believe is called the Iron Bridge. I was calling it the Graffiti Bridge because it just has quite a lot of graffiti on it. There were also a few swans hanging out underneath. As you head on under this one, there are quite a few low-hanging branches. Some of them you can duck out of the way of, but sometimes you just have to go full speed ahead and ram your way through. But once you're out the other side, the river really does open up into a lovely wide stretch of water. There were loads of dragonflies and damselflies all around. They can be pretty hard to try and catch on camera, but you can see a few of them fluttering around here. I even managed to catch this horny pair trying to hump on the side of my board. We did also have to pull a rapid U-turn as we saw a bumblebee who had got himself into some trouble in the water. We did manage to bump into each other and I almost fell in myself, but I'm happy to report that after being scooped out and drying himself off on my board, he did fly off and otherwise seemed to be in pretty good health. But this was not my only good deed of the day. As we headed towards our next bridge, I had to make a quick detour and pull over to the side of the river, as there was this sweet little dog who had managed to lose her tennis ball. I could see it floating underneath the overhang of the riverbank, so I pulled over to help out. She did bark at me, but I just think she was excited, so I'll forgive her. Once the ball was retrieved, I headed back en route. Finally, we reached the Helsden Bridge. This one is probably the most ornate of all the bridges we went under, and one really cool feature I noticed here was these right-of-way signs underneath the bridge. I've never actually seen these before, which is really surprising considering that on rivers you're meant to keep on the opposite side to what we drive on the roads. So I'm surprised I haven't seen these on other bridges, but a really cool little feature. Our final bridge of the day then came into view. This is the Sweetbriar Road Bridge. This one has got to be the biggest one we went under. It is a double archer. You can actually only get under one side because there's quite a lot of reeds and other stuff growing one way. We headed on underneath, plenty of headroom underneath this one. Not too much further up, the river did start to get really quite shallow, and we did notice we were bumping our fins on the ground at a few spots. We'd already been going for a couple of miles at this point, so we decided it was time to spin things around and begin to head back. As we headed on back, I thought the angle of my camera looked a little bit low, so I decided to try and give it a jab with my paddle to adjust it, and what I actually ended up doing here was popping open the waterproof case on the camera. You can see I looked a little shocked at the time, and I then had to make a bit of a quick scramble up to the front of the board to try and grab the camera before it fell in the water, and I lost all of this footage. Thankfully, I managed to get there in time to clip the case back together and then quickly steer out the way of this tree before I went headfirst into it. Crisis averted. If anyone's wondering how I get these shots from on my board, it's not particularly technical. I literally just keep my phone in my pocket, and when I see something cool, I whip it out to grab a quick shot. It's a little bit of a risky method, but so far I've managed not to drop my phone in, so it's been working fine. After just over an hour, we managed to make our way back to the pub. we headed on over to the ramp where we'd launched to get back out. Now, I've not made it look particularly graceful here, but this ramp really is quite nice and easy to get out of the water. I haven't exactly done it justice. Once the gear was all packed up, it was time to return to the pub for a well-earned drink. And that concludes today's adventure, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed the video. Do stick around for some more, as there are loads of spots still to check out and there will be more videos to come in the future. Once again though, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.